Newmarket Veterans Memorial Trust Committee would like to welcome you all who came out today in this chilly morning to do the rededication of GAR, and we thank you for coming out. Our members, who include John Carmichael, Wayne Rosa, Rochelle Sharples, Patrick Marsh, Dave Wade, Phil Nazzaro, and myself, are dedicated and determined to keep Newmarket soldiers in the hearts of the community. I would especially like to thank John for his countless hours of research into preparing a speech on the Civil War at the Newmarket Library, and this coming Monday evening he will do a speech for the Newmarket Historical Society and our Veterans Committee at the Newmarket Library. Is that correct? Yes. Today is a gray, damp, misty day. This is one of the days that our soldiers had faced. The Civil War was the bloodiest, costliest war in our nation's history. It pitted family against family, neighbor against neighbor, and brother against brother. I'm sure we can all recall songs such as Goober Peas and Johnny Comes Marching Home, as well as films such as Gettysburg, North and South, and Cold Mountain. All these modern day media fare relate to the Civil War. And how does the Civil War relate to us, our Newmarket residents? Look behind me. The names on that plaque are towns tied to the Civil War. Some of us here today, such as John Carmichael, Alan Knight, Deborah Rogers, and myself, have family members on this plaque. As Abraham Lincoln said, we here highly resolve that these dead not have died in vain, which is what we, the Newmarket Veterans Memorial Committee, try to preserve for our community. I'd like now to introduce to you our new town administrator, Steve Fournier.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me here. We're here this morning to rededicate this memorial and remember those individuals who proudly served many generations ago to preserve this nation and the foundations of freedom, equality, and justice that we hold dear today. This plaque contains names of ordinary men of Newmarket who took the call to arms and fought to preserve those beliefs. It includes those who made the ultimate sacrifice and laid down their lives to preserve our nation. We are now, as our ancestors before us, indebted to them for their service. We must continue to remind future generations of the sacrifices these average men made to make sure we enjoy the freedoms we have today. I'd like to thank the Veterans Memorial Trust Committee for their efforts not only preserving this and other remembrance monuments, but also for reminding us the meaning behind these monuments and the ordinary people who did extraordinary things for this country we love. Thank you all.
And at this time, I'd like to introduce Phil Nazzaro to come up. He will read a nice little speech on this project. And Phil is also a town councilor, and I also like to notice that another councilor, Mr. Carmichael, showed up. We appreciate your effort coming out today.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out on this beautiful, sunny, crisp day here, September here in Newmarket. It is, first of all, I would like to thank Steve, Ed Carmichael, and all the veterans that are here, members of the Veterans Committee, and certainly those that served for being here today. I really appreciate you coming out, especially given the conditions. So thank you very much. And I do want to say that it's an absolute honor to have the opportunity to speak here today, remembering all the 290 sons of Newmarket that fought in the Civil War. It's actually especially fitting that today is the day we choose to do this, because September 22nd, 1862, exactly 150 years ago, was the day that Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the slaves, and in doing so, stating that from then, thenceforward, and forever, all people shall be free. The power of that act is completely undeniable, but we cannot forget the price with which it was paid. For the sin of American slavery could not be eradicated by ink alone. It had to be washed away with the blood and with the lives of American soldiers. And we cannot forget that. And the date of September 22nd was not a special date. It wasn't chosen by Abraham Lincoln for any particular reason. 1862 actually was a terrible year for the Union at that point. Defeat after defeat, in battle after battle, engagement after engagement, from Shiloh to Shenandoah, from June's Battle of the Seven Pines to the 7 Days Battle of July, the Union could not find a victory. And Lincoln had decided as early as June, some say as early as January, that he was going to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. But he knew that he could not do it without a victory. If he did it in the midst of military defeat, it would look like an act of desperation as opposed to looking like what he wanted it to be, which was finding this victory to lay the foundation upon which he could erect the act of emancipation. So on September 17, 1862, by Antietam Creek, right outside of Sharpsburg, Maryland, the Army of the North and the South met, and no soldier that woke at dawn that day could have known what the horrors that day would bring. And out of all of the battles, in all of the days of American history, September 17, 1862 stands alone as the bloodiest day in American history. 23,000 casualties occurred in less than 12 hours. In less than 12 hours, over double the population of modern-day Newmarket lay dead, wounded, or dying on those cornfields. That's a terrible place to stop right there, huh? But it's a reminder to us that absolution does not come cheap. I think that we need to remember that one of the people that gave their last full measure that day is George Gay, Lieutenant George Gay, whose name stands atop the memorial here behind us. Before George went to the war, he was a clerk and a tinsmith working for the Bennett Hardware Company right across the street from where we stand right now. He roomed with and worked with two other Georges, Tebbets and Lord, and lived in the Bennett family household. When war broke out, the three Georges heard the call of duty, and all of them, barely 21, went off to fight for their country. Along with them, 287 other sons of Newmarket left, 31 of which, including two of our Georges, did not return. By all accounts, George was a model soldier. He had risen through the ranks quickly to become a member of the officer corps. His commanding officer noted in the midst of the Battle of Antietam that tactical maneuvers he had made and his military skill allowed him to basically prevent the massacre of his entire unit. So unfortunately, at the end of that day, as dusk set in, he was one of the thousands laying dead on that battlefield. So why do we come here today? It's important that we remember George. It's important that we remember all 290 people on this plaque. That they were not just names on a plaque or pictures in grainy sepia pictures. These were real people with real lives living in our town. They were farmers and fishermen, mill workers and musicians, teachers and tailors who walked in our streets, prayed in our churches, shopped in our shops, and lived where we live. They were members of our community just as sure as any one of us are here today. And so we come here to remember that while Abraham Lincoln's ink is the one that signed that piece of paper, it was with the sweat and it was with the blood of those soldiers that paper was signed. And that the principles that our forefathers enshrined in our Declaration of Independence, that all men, that all people are created equal, and no one, not another person, not another government can own a life, is protected and defended forever. Let us not forget what they did. May we always remember to honor them in our service. Thank you.
David Wade, hi. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today, you veterans, and I only wish there was more kids here that could learn a little bit about our history, and see what the sacrifices were that everyone made so we can be here today and all be free. Here's the plaque that we just put on here. Okay? I'll read what it says to you. You can come over and take a look at it after. I think Phil pretty much covered a lot of the territory there. It's the War of the Rebellion Memorial. Okay, this monument honors all 290 townsmen who volunteered for the Union cause. At the war's end, the town lost 22 men killed in action, 9 dead from disease, 40 severely wounded, 86 disabled, and 12 POWs. This resulted in a costly toll for the local families and the economy. The GAR named the memorial for Lieutenant George Gay, who entered the war in October 1861 as a private, and who quickly rose in rank. Wounded at the Battle of White Oak Swamp in Virginia, June of 1862, George received his commission in the field September 11, 1862. Only 5 days later, while credited with saving his company from ambush and slaughter in what is still considered the bloodiest one-day battle in American history, Lieutenant George Gay was killed in action at the Battle of Antietam in West Maryland. And I'd just like to say, thanks again for coming out here, and thank, how many people, today would make the sacrifices that these men made for us. It's not a walk in the park down to Maryland, I can tell you that. You know, thanks a lot.
We would also like to thank the Newmarket Police Department, who has helped us a lot. We never charge us a penny for all the services they provide us. And Newmarket Public and Works Department, they help us also, and they never charge. And I just think we'd like to say a special thanks to them. They're a special brotherhood to us. Also today, there's been a lot of thank yous, but I want to remind everyone that the Newmarket Historical Society has a wonderful webpage that John has worked very hard on, and Wayne, by gathering names. And John has put all the information up on that website, where there's over 75 profiles of our Civil War veterans that we have today. And if you go up there and you click on the website, you can follow the battle, the wars, and the Civil War will lead to all the information. And also that Monday night again, John will be giving a presentation at the library, which some of our younger citizens could also make it there. And as today, as you walk around, we want you to enjoy the activities at the Heritage Festival, and hopefully support some of our local businesses along the way. And remember, like Phil said, and Dave, there's no picnic for these men. It's cold and damp today. Imagine the conditions that they were under. And just thank a veteran dearly, because that's what it's all about, your freedom.